Shabbat Shalom to all of you. This Shabbat, the portion is called Pinchas, and this is the grandson of Aaron. Now, what is very interesting, only by their descendants, according to rabbinical Judaism, Pinchas couldn't be a Jew. I don't know, you know why. Because his mother was a Midianite, you know? But I think she converted. You know, that's... you know, when I read in the scriptures and I read the comments of our dear rabbis, sometimes we have a lot of imagination. This is the reason that I always teach, go back to the Torah. Go back to the scriptures that are revealed. The sages are wonderful and they teach you a lot of wonderful things and certain times wonderful applications. But I always have this way of looking at the scriptures. If the Torah say one way and men say another way, go to the Torah. No, go to men. Okay? The Creator is more than men. We as men, we are only a creation. We are not like Him. And we need to be very careful. Anyway, this parasha, Pinchas, is also, the name Pinchas is a name that is very strange to tell you. Many of the Hebraism, they have been trying to explain this name. You know, Pinchas is Pi-Nahash, not Pinchas. And what it means, the mouth of the serpent. What a beautiful name, no? It's like a Caleb dog. You know, sometimes we ask ourselves how we have those names. Well, you're going to see that all depending also about the side that you are and how do you see certain things, qualities in certain animals. In Judaism, in the Hebrew, in modern Hebrew, many of the names of people are names of animals, you know? And that is a part of the mode, the fashion, and used to be something like that sometimes. But what is important here is that the names is to relate certain qualities. Here, Pinchas, the grandson of Aaron, a son of Eliezer, he is going to act in a way that looks like a little bit a lot of zealotry, a lot of fanatism, to the point that he is going to kill with a spear Simri and Cosby. Now, there are a lot of pictures here that I would like for you to understand. I am not a literalist in the scriptures, but I like to look at the teachings, at the principles that bring to us at this moment. And one of the things that I always look is what the Creator is trying to give to us with this incident, with this situation. What can we learn from all of this? You know, Pinchas, after he acts in that way, basically, he's giving the Brit Shalom. By the way, only for you, if you are curious, you're going to see that the word Shalom written in the parchments, the Bab is broken. Okay? And according to those one who should write, you know, the Soferim, the Sofer, that is not, that wouldn't be a right parchment, you know, that wouldn't be kosher. But this one is the only exception, because according to this Shalom is a Shalom that brought peace with a lot of death, to stop the plague that was in at that time, that 24,000 died. According to our sages, they say that this plague, this kind of sin, was very bad in comparison even with the Egel Sahab, with the golden calf, because at that time they only died 3,000. At this time, they died 24,000. That to tell you about the magnitude of this sin. We have seen the last week Balak, and we have seen what Balaam, the Gentile prophet, the soothsayer, and trying by all means to curse Israel, and he couldn't do it. And he left without being able to do it. But he was smart enough to know that maybe I cannot curse them directly, but I can do something to separate Israel from the true God. And how? I'm going to make Israel to do certain things that are so terrible that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will really stop protecting them or covering them. And that's what happened. And what they did is, the Midianites, and here we have Sur, that is very interesting, who is the prince of the Midianites, that I mentioned last week that many sages consider that Sur and Balak are the same. They gave their daughters, their own daughters, to commit the worst sin that they can, harlotry, to entice the Israelites to worship their god, Baal Peor. And they succeed. They didn't care about their own daughters. If they prostitute themselves only for the sake and the hate that they had against Israel. I always say that I like to bring things that can be applied today. Sadly enough, there is a group in Islam. They're very fanatics. That they do not care that their own children die only for the hate that they have against us, Israel. I wonder you see the parallel. And sometimes Israel suffered. Why? Because Israel is falling in the trap of Baal Peor, in the trap of the Midianites. What we're seeing today, at this time that I'm talking to you, is about the lack of morality in the world. Totally destroyed. Do you remember when I talked to you about our God, our Creator, gave us free will, but also gave us the moral understanding, and the intention of the people is very important. And then I told you how from morality, we were going to immorality, and from immorality to the end, that was total destruction to me, in my understanding, was amorality. I believe that we are in this transition from immorality to amorality. Because right now, in this 21st century that we were talking here in the Western civilization, we have lost totally the concept of what is right and what is wrong. To the point that right now we are exalting, elevating totally what is for us used to be wrong as something that is magnificent and good and right. And what we thought that was good and right have been put down and stopped in there, stepped on in it. And we have accepted. The worst part, more and more that I talk to people, more and more people that supposedly they're people who has moral values, that who has supposedly they live a life, decent life. They say, there's nothing wrong with that. We are free to do whatever we want to do. What's wrong? I own my own body. I am the owner of myself. So far, it's true. How many times I have told you that we cannot legislate morality? But I don't know if you realize this. We, those ones that supposedly we cannot legislate morality, we have been legislated morality to us. So we are being legislated their immorality in us. In other words, we are imposed immoral views that are forced on us that we need to accept it, that they are right. And if we say that they are not right or they are wrong, we are called bigots, we are called fanatics, we are called terrorists. I'm going to give you a simple example. Today, the right to abortion is the most wonderful thing that supposedly women has reached. Now they can go any place and they can have an abortion. When you have a different opinion, they call you terrorists. When you say that life begins at the moment of conception, according to Torah, according to the scriptures, you are a religious fanatic. And you don't have the right to give your opinion. Not only you don't have the right to give your opinion, if you give your opinion, you go to jail. And what they're doing is muscling, putting stuff in the mouths of people because they are afraid to speak out. Because now these people who preach immorality, who practice immorality, who love immorality and show immorality is the right thing. Let me put it again. We cannot legislate morality, but they cannot legislate immorality on us either. Then what needed to be the right way? You have the right to believe in whatever you want to believe. Meanwhile, you do not affect others. You don't impose on others. You want to be orgiastic or live a life without boundaries and without limitations, do it, but do it privately. Why do you need to show off all over the world? But I want to tell you one thing that I have learned, and this we are learning. Today, for example, they're doing parades and things like that of things that are very obscene for most of us. But who are the people who go to see it? Who are the spectators? Those ones who say, oh, how horrible. Oh, look at those sinners. Give me a break, you hypocrite. If you go there, you are supporting them. Yeah. Don't come to, no. You are as worse as the others. It's like one day they were in the United States, they were discussing about what is pornography. And and somebody came with this idea, it's very difficult to define pornography. But he said, but when I see it, I know. We are in that situation. Let me go back to Pinchas. Pinchas is called a zealot, a crazy man who killed for nothing. But I want that you read the Torah, you believe in the Torah, in Balak. Okay? In chapter 5 of the last parasha, verse 25. In chapter 5 he says, and Moshe gave the order to the judges of Israel. Each one of you needs to kill your man who has been involved with Baal Peor. What these judges, what these chiefs did, they did absolutely nothing because they were afraid to say anything. And then when Simri did what he did, was too much, because Simri went in front of the Ohel Moed, in front of Moshe Rabbeinu, in front of everybody, and start doing the despicable things with Cosby. Now, it's interesting here, also a picture. Do you remember at the beginning, between the relationship between Levi and Shimon? Do you remember the situation with Dinah? And do you remember what happened? What they organized to the point that until the end, our father Jacob couldn't forget what they did. That he talked about them. He said, you are bloodthirsty. Levi completely separated himself and became trying to make it right. We see it first with the Egel Sahab, when the Levites start stopping the people who they were under this orgiastic and this type of idolatry. And now here, who is Pinchas? Also a Levite. And who is Simri? In Shimeon.
Wow.
There was a separation.
Wow.
And there is a principle here that we all of us, trying to get away from bad company. Simple. We can apply it today. I have a friend that likes to use drugs, and when I go to his house, he is all drug addict. Okay, I say, don't go to the house. That's all. No, he's my friend. Well, you're going to see the consequences. I know cases, the people that have been involved in situations like that because they went to the house of somebody who were using drugs. Be careful, you fall in that trap. Then, what we can bring more from this issue? Idolatry is bad, but orgiastic attitude is even sexual actions, even worse. And this is why many of the great civilizations fall. We say that we need to learn from history. And we have not been able to learn from history the all great civilizations. If you are a historian and you study very carefully, you are going to realize why they fell. And I always say there are three reasons why they fell. One, that they had dictators that were totally abusive, and they lost the criteria of his people. The second, the greatest immorality, that they became immorals. And the third one, the hate to Israel. Examine all these great civilizations they fell, and you're going to see all these three conditions. What we can learn from Pinchas? That we need to kill anybody who is different to us? No, that's not the case. You know? I don't know if you have heard about Baruch Goldstein. Well, he wanted to kill Arabs, you know, because that's not what we are. That's totally not for us. The only time that we defend ourselves is when they're trying to kill us. We don't have the right to take the life of others because we don't like it how they are. And the truth of the matter is, many people who are on the other side of, they call it immorality, they have been suffering a lot too. Because there are some people that are very fanatic. And I'm going to tell you this secret, that is not a secret. We are not the judges. It's the Creator, the Borei Olam, blessed be His name, who judge people. And He will make His will done. But you need to speak out when the things are coming. I mentioned to you the abortion, because today there are people who say, oh, they're taking away our right of the abortion. And I ask this question to all these people. What about the rights of the unborn baby? I say, have you read Mishlei, Proverbs 31, 8 and 9? In which we are told to speak for those ones who cannot speak for themselves. An unborn baby can speak for himself, can say, I want to live. Do they give him the right to live? And I always say, the law is very crazy. You can abort a child, but if somebody run over a woman that is pregnant, they punish you with 2 murders. That tell you about how crazy we are. And we need to be careful that we don't fall in fanaticisms. We need to learn to speak out in the right way. And we need to be heard by other side. In that way will be a balance. Okay, I don't have the right to stop these people who have a different style of life. But I don't need to accept that that is a right way of living. For them it's right, let it be for them right. For me, it's not right, period. Why I need to be forced to accept it, that is right living? The only thing they can say it is, you know, you have the right to live. Yeah, that's okay. But don't impose on me. I'm going to give you a very different example, but sometimes help us to understand. You know, I don't like people who put the hair a red color, for example. Or no, in this case we're going to put something more exaggerated, a blue-green color. You know, I don't like it. You know, they have the right to do it. But they don't need to come to me and say, you need to like it. Or I need to do it myself. You see, the rights of some person ended when the rights of somebody else began. And we need to start learning to respect for each other. Then, what is the if we concentrate all this parasha, what will be the real thing that is the Creator trying to tell us. You know, one of the things that has come with this is the consequences of our behavior are going to bring us situations that we can be sorry for it. In other words, we are responsible for our actions. And if we do something wrong, sooner or later we are going to pay for it. And that's why I tell you, from morality, immorality means integrity. Integrity means that if you are moral, you constantly are in a test, in a struggle sometimes, because you need constantly to decide for what is right. And that means to have integrity, because sometimes you need to decide things that goes against your own views or against your own situation. That is integrity. Immorality is the person who knows what is right and wrong, but doesn't care because he's continually doing what is wrong. But the worst part, and that's what I am afraid that we are going in this civilization, we are going through amorality. In psychology, people call it sociopath or the worst thing, no? Psychopaths. People who they don't have any longer the capability to distinguish between right and wrong.
Someone happened to Simeon? Was there redemption for them? Simeon?
And there's going to be redemption for everybody, because the Creator doesn't abandon anybody. We are the one that abandon the Creator. The Creator has never abandoned us. Even when we are in our worst, He cares for us. If you are a father or a mother and you have your children, for more things that they do, that is still your children, and you care for them. You always want for them to come back. Let's pray that the world will open their eyes, because we are going to a self-destruction. I always say Israel can never be destroyed from outside. What Bilam did, I'm going to destroy you from inside. The moral turpitude of these people was so low that they suffered 24,000 dead. And if Pinchas didn't act, it will be more. That's the reason that he was given the covenant of peace, because he brought peace to the people of Israel. Have a good Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.